A number like $48,000 gold price cannot be ruled out. We're going to look at the reasons why in this video. Silver, you know that number, $200, $300, some people even say $600 per ounce. We have so many reasons to remain optimistic about the gold and silver price. Look, I know today we're in a bit of a downdraft. We'll talk about that, but guys, it's just noise. Okay. What happened this morning, what's happening right now is all short term noise. I want you to think out 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now. How do you feel about the silver and gold price? I can't answer for you. I can answer for me, right? You have your own brain, you have your own ability to analyze what's going on. But when I look at it, it sure feels like a year or two from now, I can see gold and silver prices that will make us very, very happy. Halloween 2025, right? Next year. Where do you think? I mean, really, where do you think the silver price will be? Think about it. Okay. But let's run out. This is all short term noise, but we did get some news this morning that we talked about that would move the markets. We're going to spend about 10 seconds on this. The key Fed inflation gauge shows price increases match expectations in September. That doesn't mean they were good. It means it matched expectations. I want you to think about that. And what were these expectations? The expectations were this. Over the prior year, inflation basically rose at 2.7% in September. That was above Wall Street's expectation of 2.6%. And in line with the 2.7% seen in August. So what we're hearing, and we're not going to talk about this because it is short-term noise. We're looking at the long-term picture, and we got $48,000 gold. I got a chart to show you here in a second, okay? But the short-term noise about the inflation, think about this. We still have inflation at 3%. The Fed didn't win the fight on inflation, and that's the government numbers. You know, and I know the real numbers are much, much higher than that, probably double or possibly even triple the amount. And we know that heading into next year, it's undeniable. I'll argue with you to the end. You want to argue? Ronnie will argue with you this morning that next year, all you're going to hear about is inflation. And inflation is going to become the key driver for the silver price and the gold price, okay? So $48,000 gold. Hey, on a day like today, we want to hear that, right? Right? $400 silver, 48. I know it's crazy. Well, think about this. Bitcoin did it, right? It went from $10 to whatever it's at now, 75,000, heck, maybe 80 or 90,000 by now. What if the U.S. debt spiral continues? Don't you worry. We will go look at the U.S. debt clock a little bit later. What if the devaluation of the dollar continues? And then we need to think about this, right? Can paper currency, is it within the realm of possibility that this paper currency can go to zero? It's only happened hundreds of other times throughout history, thousands of times probably with other paper currencies. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but we do know this about the dollar. Since 1971, it lost 99% of its value relative to gold. So I'd say that we're making some progress, right? And this idea of $48,000 gold, it's on a chart. We're going to look at it right now, okay? But it's really not that far out of the question. I understand. And then we're going to talk about $28,000 gold. I'm going to show you another example. And, you know, these numbers correlate to a silver price over $100, over $200 per ounce. But let's go look at this chart where we get to hear about $4,800 gold. This comes from our friend Garadhi, okay? He's an analyst, and he says rising wedges, and here's the chart down here, but rising wedges are mostly bearish. That means bad, but sometimes bullish. And when they are bullish, they are usually very bullish. Not taking this chart seriously would be the biggest financial mistake of your life, and that's not overstating. Just his opinion, but let's take a look at this chart, guys, because it is fascinating. Here's the $48,000 gold. He said this wild chart does say the target is 48,000, which coincidentally would be the approximate number of US dollars M2 was back to back M2 with 100%. So what he sees here is this first bull phase, right? That started during the 70s, the 60s, and ran up through the 70s through 1980. We pulled back. And then around 2001, we had the second bull phase. Make sure I got you guys on the right screen, which I do. Okay. All right. Where gold went up from what, $250 all the way up to, I forget what it got to during that run, 1900, something like that. Okay. Then we pulled back, and this is the wedge. Okay. The largest, very probable bullish rising wedge continuation halfway pattern I have ever seen is what he says. And that's this, right? This wedge pattern. Look, I'm not a technical analyst guru. I'm just presenting to you what he says. And based on those numbers, okay, we had the first bull phase, the second bull phase, the third bull phase would be the inflationary 2020s, like we just talked about. Inflation will drive, and that's the third and final phase. The breakout already happened back in 2020 when gold back tested $1,673 per ounce. And based on this technical analysis, right, it projects that gold could go as high as $48,000. I know it just seems unbelievable to us gold and silver investors, in particular with the challenges we faced lately. But I want to bring up one more point to you, okay? Well, here, let's bring this up first. Let's remember what happened yesterday, okay? This is from bar chart. Gold hits its highest closing price in history. Okay, that was yesterday. Highest closing gold price in history. Now, I want you to think about this. What happens when things hit new all-time high prices? After any asset hits, gold, silver, when it hits its all-time high, anytime an asset hits its all-time high, it's more likely that it will continue to make newer and newer and newer all-time highs, right? Because that momentum is going forward. So the fact that we did, again, yesterday, hit an all-time high in the gold price is a very, very big deal. All right, back to 48,000. How about $28,000 gold? Quickly, okay? In 1999, the price of gold was about $260 per ounce. That was 25 years ago. Let's go look at this chart. I want you to as we look at this chart goes only back to 2000, but you can see, right, in the year 2000, hold on here. There we go. Okay, in the year 2000, in the futures market, we had the gold price at 2,700, right? This chart doesn't go back to 1999, but this works, okay? Look, gold price, 200, right up here, $277 per ounce on August 6th, okay? Gold has gone up 10 times from $2,700 all the way, from $270, I'm sorry, all the way to 2,780 today, a 10x increase in 25 years. What would a 10x increase, even if it takes another 25 years from now, be? That would be $28,000 gold. I think $28,000 gold 25 years from now will be child's play. I mean, we've got to consider the idea and the reality that we could have massive increases in the gold price and the silver price. Think back 25 years ago to 1999, when you could buy gold for under $300 an ounce, okay, right? The Y2K, remember, you were probably alive. I was alive. We could have bought gold for $270 per ounce. If you had told you had told me back then in 1999, hey, go buy all the gold you can for $270 an ounce, I'd be kissing you right now. I'd like you even more than I do right now. But in 1999, we buy all that gold for $200, and to know that 25 years later, that gold would have gone up 10 times in value. Think about that. So today, when we sit here and we talk about gold, and we talk about gold going to $28,000 in 25 years, or $48,000, which I actually think is more realistic given what's going on. I mean, if you look at the U.S. debt clock lately, is that a good enough reason for us? What does that tell us? We're in a debt spiral. Nonetheless, if we tell each other now, buy gold, buy silver, it's going to go up 10x, 20x in 25 years, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. What if silver goes up 20x from where it is right now? We're talking about $700 gold, $650 silver, not gold. It's possible. It's not even possible. Look, just looking at this from a mathematical perspective, I think that it's very highly likely. Don't make any financial decisions based on what I'm saying. This is my truth. You have a good brain, right? On top of that, I forgot the most important part. Thank you for joining us here, right? You. Now, I'm not talking to anybody else now, but you, right? We all get together as individuals. You're a unique individual. Your time is precious. We honor the fact that you have chosen to join us here today. It's not possible without your participation. Thank you. Please, this is when I beg, subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, super chat, super thanks, PayPal donations, never expected, always appreciated, but please never donate anything more than you can afford. Hold on here. I think we've got a super chat. Don Howe. Man, Don, you are just so consistently generous with us. Thank you, Don, and everyone else that's given super chats for the super chat. Much appreciated. Well, let's pull that back. Okay. So that's it. It's possible. We're good. Everything's fine. Today stinks. Speaking of today stinking, what do you say, guys, that we go check out and get an update time on the gold and silver price? First, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor Pimbex, Pimbex, online bullion dealer, where I buy my precious metals. I bought from them before they sponsored the channel. I heard about them from you. I get overwhelmingly positive feedback, response from the basement dweller community. Those of you who have, what I think is made a smart decision to check out Pimbex, to give them a shot. I found that they always have a great selection. They always have ultra competitive pricing, right? And number one, it's a company that I can trust. The brothers that own the company, that run the company, their mission to get as much metal into the hands of the stacking community for the best price as possible. Please check out Pimbex now. Oh my gosh, it is ugly. Let's do an update here, guys. I'm going to press the magic button here, the little golden triangle. It could have gotten worse, and it did. Gosh, silver down 70 cents. Oof, gold down $26. Now, let's take a deep breath. Silver is still above $33. We've been fighting the $32.50 range. Is the $32.50 for silver is the critical level. This calls for a special edition, guys. We need to go out and look at the silver chart, because we haven't done this for about a week, and see just how precarious of a situation we are getting into. Wow. And the general, wow, the NASDAQ down 2% this morning. Okay, silver taking a dive, down 75 cents in the futures. But let's take a look at the big picture. Remember, right? Short-term noise. This is not the end of the world. Okay, and let's look at a one-year chart and see how that works for us. Okay, perfect. We're going to get our crayons out here, and this will help us kind of visualize what's going on. Guys, this is the line in the sand. Not only is that a red line, that's the red line that it cannot be crossed. Okay, that's $32.50 in the silver in the futures market. Remember, we fought through so many times, like 3-4 times, depending on how you want to measure it. We broke through. Okay, so that line, instead of being resistance, now becomes support. So it will remain very critical for us as silver investors. If we get back down here, if let's talk worst case scenario, the silver price goes down here, which we don't want to see happen. That's not good. That's not the end of the world. What we do want to see is a bounce up. Okay. Right now, what's probably going on in all the, there's a lot of uncertainty out there right now in the markets. Okay. Now, I know, right? Uncertainty is good for silver and gold. Well, it is. From a big picture perspective, inflation's good for silver and gold. Uncertainty is good for silver and gold, but not always. And the reason why is, like we know, in the last 4 years ago, when inflation was going up, in the long run, that was good for gold and silver. But gold and silver were struggling because the Fed was going to raise interest rates, right? So it's not always the case. with inflation, but also this uncertainty that we have right now, the election coming up next week, the big Fed meeting then following. I think it's on Thursday when we'll get the announcement from the Fed. That's causing a lot of uncertainty out there. There's a lot of uncertainty about what's going on with China, how they're going to react to the elections, what kind of stimulus they're going to do. And the uncertainty is making people kind of take a step back from the risky assets. And silver is, I believe, this is what I think is going on. Silver and even the precious metal mining stocks have had a rough couple days. I don't even want to look at my precious metal mining stock portfolio today, right? Because people are chickening out and pulling out. Like I'm nervous. Okay, I'm emotional. So that's likely what's going on in the silver market. But are we worried, right? Is the precious metals rally, is it over? No, it's not, okay? Like we said earlier, when something hits new all-time highs, it likely continues higher. It's more likely, guys, that silver will continue higher. In my book, $34, $35, you may not agree with me. That's okay. But essentially, $34, $35 is new all-time high territory for silver. I know it went to 50 back in 1980. I know it went to 50 back in 2011. Very brief periods of time. I'd be curious to see like this, how much the amount of time now that we've been spending above 30, how that compares to previous times when the silver price did. Because I think essentially we are at new all-time highs for silver for all intents and purposes. Okay, but what about gold? This is great. You know Jim Rickards is? Jim Rickards, New York Times bestseller, worked for the government in all types of capacity. I think he was an actual economic advisor to President Reagan. That's all from memory, so don't quote me on that. But what is Rickards saying about gold? He brought up, this is a critical point for us to remember. He says, whoop, there it is. This is yesterday. Gold hit $2,800. And it's great that Americans are not buying it. Americans still aren't in mass buying gold. That means there's plenty of upside left when they finally see what's happening. The Chinese are buying gold like unbelievable amounts, guys, on the retail level. The data coming out of China, the Chinese consumers are buying gold jewelry, gold bars, gold, but the American, and why is this a big deal? Thank you, Jim, for that great point, because that's something that we can take solace in as silver and gold investors. And that is, the Americans haven't even joined the party yet. It's like a, what do they call that? It's like an ace up the sleeve for gold and silver as well, right? When the Americans really start to come in, when they wait, and that's going to happen. Think about what's going to happen after this election, right? It's probably, right? It could be a sweep by the Democrats. It could be a sweep by the Republicans. And really, in both of those scenarios, typically aren't going to be really, really positive for the precious metals. But what's likely going to happen is it's going to be contested. We're going to have a lot of uncertainty. We got the debt ceiling that needs to be renewed in early January. And on top of that, right, next year when this inflation takes off and the Americans do wake up, right, when they start going to the grocery store and realizing that eggs now cost $8. I mean, eggs are expensive already. When milk that they were paying $3.40 for 3 months ago suddenly costs $5 or $6, right? When that kind of inflation hits, and it's going to happen, then the Americans are going to run to gold and silver. The Costco dads are going to be considered like the trailblazers. You and I don't know what we call ourselves. We're out in front of the Costco dads. But then the masses will want to join. And it's going to be an interesting thing. We got the dollar starting to roll over. Let's go out and take a look at the U.S. dollar. William Middlecoop brought up this point. Yes, the dollar's starting to roll over. The dollar has been on an absolute tear for like the last month. Okay. And that has been a headwind to the silver and gold price. He says the next leg up for gold and silver is about to start, probably. Well, it didn't start today, William, but nonetheless, we appreciate you pointing that out. Now let's go take a look at the dollar, because I have a feeling the dollar's down today. We are just everything is changing like unbelievable these long established relationships. And looks like my computer, there we go. Let's take a look and see what the DXY index. No, I do not want to be a member. Thank you very much. And yes, the dollar's down, which should be, everything's different now, guys. So the dollar is rolling over. In the end, this will be supportive for the gold and silver price. But, right, with the dollar being down even just a little bit, the gold and silver price should actually be moving up. Things are so wonky in the relationships. We talked about this yesterday. Mohammed El-Arian, the former CEO of PIMCO, is like, everything's out the window. I mean, everything, and gold and silver are in a whole new paradigm, a whole new system of value measurement. And I know today stinks. Let's go do a quick update. We got to see. Come on, we got to get the silver price coming back. Let's not have one of these crazy down $1 days. 81 cents. Boo. Boo-hoo. We love pinbacks. Hey, think about it. If you waited to today to buy some silver, you're getting a good deal compared to yesterday. All right, guys. This is interesting. Okay. Again, a whole new paradigm. We got a subscriber comment that I want to pull up here, and bringing up an excellent point. This was Ted Kragosk saying, and this drives home this idea that we are in like the panic zone or the unknown zone when it comes to these precious metals. And it's going to be good and supportive, in my opinion, for the price of silver and gold. But we are going through some crazy wonky times. And he points this out. And there he is, looks like with his lovely wife or maybe daughter. He says, not just the fact that rates are rising. This talks about how everything that should have killed gold and really killed silver has been thrown out the window. So not only that rates are rising, gold was supposedly going up because Israel was going to attack Iran. It happened. It's over. Oil plummeted. Not granddaddy gold, right? Gold did not. So what he's saying is gold. Everybody said, oh, gold's going up because of the wars going on in the world. And again, that's certainly a support factor for the price of the precious metals. But then after that happened, and there was really no big response from Iran, right? Gold didn't plummet, not until today anyway. So that things really are changing in terms of these relationships between the metals, right? And this is what Mohammed El-Arian said, right? The economic relationships that gold and silver have, these long-standing, they're changing. The financial relationships, what we just looked at, right? The fact that, oh, when the dollar's down, gold and silver should be up. And when the dollar's up, gold and silver should be down. Well, that's all been appears, at least for now, to have been thrown out the window. And the geopolitical risk, like we just talked about, even that relationship, right? There's a new, right? And what it really is a reemergence of precious metals as, hold on here, make sure I'm not screwing anything up. Okay. Oh yeah. Susie wants me to point out the Boo Bears. We can have some fun. Do you guys see the Boo Bears? Okay. There, right above Pinbacks. Happy Halloween, everybody. And I think you can see the eyeballs on that one right there. And there's one more little Boo Bear. I'll let you find it. Whoever finds it, put it in the comment section. Okay. There's another Boo Bear somewhere on the screen that you can see. Now I forgot. Oh, everything's thrown out the window. And what is happening? Do you feel it? Right? It's this reemergence of silver and gold as the only real true form of money, right? Is the only real true form of value, the timeless form of value. As the world moves away from the dollar, as all this is changing. What about silver? What's the missing link, right? For the silver, for silver to explode upward. We don't want it to explode downward like we're having today, but what is the missing link? And this is an interesting piece of data I pulled this from Chris Marcus from Arcadia Economics. Looks like he got it from goldchartsrs.com, but in one of his recent Substack posts, he's got a great Substack where he talks about what is going on in the silver market right now. But this is weekly transparent silver holdings. Okay. And this shows total published repositories, how much silver is held by mutual funds and ETFs in ounces. And guys, if we look at the start of 2024, okay, and the gray line, by the way, is the silver price. So that's on the right-hand side. This is millions of ounces. All right. So if we look back to the beginning of the year, and if we even go into April, we were at about what? 1.3 billion ounces, because that's millions of ounces. Okay. Look at how what we're seeing is the investor coming back into the silver market. It's almost by what appears to me to be 100 million ounces. And that is significant, right? This increase. Let's draw it. Let's draw it. I mean, gosh, look at this increase from February, April timeframe. Look at that red line. Do you see that increase? 100 million ounces. Why is 100 million? Because because the whole mining sector in the entire world only produces 800 million ounces of silver. So 100 million ounces is a big deal. Silver. Now, this is also interesting and shows an increased level of focus on the silver. Make Gold Great Again brings this up. Searches for silver on Google have suddenly increased to levels not seen since 2021. Look at this. Silver is trending on Google. This is from Google Trends. Look over here. I'm going to circle this, right? This is now. Right? Look how it's been all the way back we had a spike in 2021. Probably a spike here during the C19 crisis as well. But what that is the average investor coming back and looking at silver. And we've got to realize, why is that important? It's important because the retail level of inventory for silver investors is finite, and it's a sliver of what is out there. Yesterday, when I was talking with Mike, from one of the owners from Pimbex, he didn't say there was a silver shortage. He didn't say that, right? But what he did tell me is that he is definitely starting to notice a certain level of stress in the availability of silver products. Like it's not like, oh, we can't get anything, but it's not like, let's say 2, 3, 4 months ago, where there was just this overwhelming plethora of supply of all types of silver products. They're starting to see some stress in the silver, right? But that would make sense. Look, guys, it doesn't take a lot. I mean, like one big event, who knows, right? I'm not predicting this, and I don't want anything bad to happen, but could turmoil after the election, right? A contested election, doesn't that kind of feel like the same type, like black swanish event like we had 18 months ago during that little banking crisis that all of us forgot about, where like 4 of the biggest banks in the history of the universe went bust, but the Fed fixed it. I think, what was that, March and April of 2023. And remember what happened? Silver went bye-bye. Do you remember what happened? Premiums on these things. It's time for a little show and tell. American Silver Eagle premiums, right? You were paying, the silver price was like $25, right? And people were paying $50 each for American Silver Eagles. Is that going to happen again after the election? Right? We're getting word, and it's not just Mike, I've heard other people say, expect premiums to be going up. And the only reason why premiums, meaning the amount that you pay over the spot price for each 1 ounce of silver or gold that you want to buy, the only reason they go up is because of retail investor demand. Are we going to see that again here, right? Within maybe what? I mean, today's Thursday. A week from now? I didn't even think about that. I got a feeling, I'll go out on a limb, that there's a 40% chance that we could see an incredible spike in demand for the physical metals. Don't make any financial decisions. I'm just kind of telling you what I see coming as we head through this next week. It's going to be an interesting development, okay? And meanwhile, as we talk about silver, meanwhile, back on the ranch, guys, it never seems to end. Hold on here, wrong one. Jesse Colombo brings up this. Another morning, another silver slam. He says, and this was yesterday, and it's probably again today, right? This is again today. This has occurred. Is the COMEX, are they manipulating? Thank you, Susie. Silver Surfer, thank you for your super chat, my friend. I'm going to pull it up here in a second. This has occurred 5 out of the last 8 trading sessions. The banking cartel is doing everything they can to stop silver from finally thriving. I still believe silver will prevail. So do I, Jesse. We're with you, brother. But he circles on here the silver slams. Looks like this was yesterday morning, the 30th, right? That's when the COMEX opens. Here we go back on the 25th. The COMEX opens. The 24th. See the big red line. See the big red slams. So is the COMEX, are the big banks, are they manipulating the price of silver down? Are they causing pain in the silver market because they don't want the price of silver to go up? It's very interesting. Now, we talk about this all the time, but I wanted to show this one to you guys. I thought it was a great, here we go. The silver lifeboat. Silver is real money from Michael Sanchez. We talk about this, right? Like, that's you and me. We're already in the lifeboat going away from the sinking ship, and that's the US dollar. And look at the people on the boat. Help, 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 right? Sorry, guys, too late, right? And there he is right there. He's a silverhead. I didn't notice that. The guy has a silver eagle for a head. Hold on a second. All right, Susie, don't forget to squeeze the Boo Bear's foot. Okay. All right, hold on. We got more to talk about with silver. I want to go back out here. Silver Surfer, thank you, my friend, for the super chat. He's got a comment. Let's see what he has to say. Gold and silver go up when the wind and mist from the unicorn fart dust smells ripe. Yes, it'll go back up. I know today. Thank you, my friend, and thank you for the content that you put out there as well. It will go up. Let's go take a quick look, and then we want to look at some more good news on the charts for silver. But boy, oh boy, down $1. Ugh. Oh boy. You know what? We get really, I know it's short term. That I don't like to see. I'm sorry. I don't like to see silver down by $1. What the heck is going on, right? I mean, come on, really? Down $1? Maybe, right? What we just looked at is indeed true. We need to do an emergency visit back to the futures. That's gold. I have silver up over here. Yeah. So let's take a look. Let's get an update here on the silver and the futures market. Down $1 in the futures market as well. 33.06. Man, look, we're still okay. You know, let's see. Now let's see if this support level at 32.50 holds, right? Are there people who are going to rush in and buy silver at this level? I think it will. I think we're going to bounce upward. I also want to be realistic, right? It's not the end of the world if we dip below it. It's going to stink. You're going to see tears rolling down my face. We'll be together. We'll make it through it all. Okay, now let me pull up for you. Here it is. Yes. Okay. Hold on here, guys. Wrong one. Okay. This is from Dow. Gold equals 0. Silver breaking out from a significant descending channel, which we're still doing. Okay. I like the symmetry of the pink consolidation label 1 and 2. $38.50 is just the first stop. Let's pull this up and take a look at what he's talking about here. Okay, this is a long-term channel going all the way back to 2011, when you can see we hit, the $50 per ounce silver. This is probably weekly closes, I would imagine. And silver has been in this downward channel the whole time, okay? Now it has broken out. Now, Couple key things on this chart. You can look over here on the right, right? There was that wedge pattern that we broke out of. We are still, right? Still, definitely still broken out. That still is in play. The other thing that he draws on here, okay, shoulder, that S stands for shoulder, the H stands for head, and the S stands for shoulder. For those of you who are new, I'm going to quickly draw what he's talking about. That's the inverse head and shoulder. So shoulder, head, shoulder, which goes uppity, uppity, uppity. Not today, but that's generally the case. That's the upside down, inverse head and shoulders pattern. Now, when he measures the move, that is this part from here to here, from the baseline of the head and shoulders. Let me draw a quick line on here for you. Okay, from here, see that little yellow arrow to here. There's the baseline, and there's the tip of the head. That move with that pattern typically goes up to here, which is $38.50 silver. So I know today it feels like all hope is, it's a painful day to own silver. No doubt about it. I don't even want to go check the price again, but we will. We don't give up, okay? We all know. Have you heard? Breaking news. There's a silver deficit. Yes, the world consumes more silver on an annual basis than it produces. My gosh. I know, right? We've heard that a zillion times. But to see it, do you want to see it? I thought this was probably one of the best visual representations of that I have seen. And I want to show this to you. Here it is. Okay, from Eric Young, King Kong. This guy was in Hong Kong, I believe. Great analyst in the silver, a great proponent of silver and gold. He says the gold and silver manipulation is breaking now because of a physical supply deficit. The East and its proxies standing for delivery at the Western metals exchanges. But look at this. I'd never really visualized it like this. This line here, okay, is total mined silver supply. This, what would you call that? Turquoise color, like light green color line. See how that's going, since 2022, really going down. The dark blue line, total silver demand, excluding physical investment. Okay, so that doesn't even include the investment. I mean, and do you see this? Right? This started back in 2021. They kind of crossed in 2022, silver consumption exceeded mined supply for the first time. So it was 2022. So now this is the amount of consumption. We talk about it a lot. We talk about the numbers, but look, guys, this whole area, hold on here. We got to do a different color. I'm sick of red. Orange is my favorite color. This whole area, oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, this whole area in here, right? That's the silver deficit. Okay? That's what's going on. Hold on. I'm getting texts from all over this morning. Okay. Squeeze the bat's stomach and microphone screams for 200. We need 700 more thumbs up. Anyway, that's what you can be happy about, even on a day like today when we have this. I'm telling you, right? If you buy silver today as opposed to bought it yesterday, you're saving yourself about a dollar an ounce. I always say I buy silver on day. There we go. We're back. We're no longer down $1. We're down 94 cents per ounce. Hey, you never know how this day could end, but I would not be too optimistic that we're going to get a move back above the or back into the green level. We'll see how the day plays out. Susie wants me to squeeze the bat's stomach. I got to fix the audio here. Hopefully I don't screw anything up. And background noise is off. Okay, guys, I'm sure we have 200 thumbs up. The bat, which one's the bat? Is this a bat? Am I supposed to squeeze this? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, guys. Maybe you can see me. Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. Happy Halloween to all the basement dwellers from Susie's bat. She wants me to squeeze it for 200 thumbs up. Seriously, guys, I hope you have a good Halloween. I hope you're not like me. I always get stressed out around the holidays because I get stressed out about everything. But you know what? It's a fun day for kids. We have twin 12-year-old daughters. They're excited. Maybe you get to get some candy out, be nice to your neighbor kids. And here we go. I'll do it twice for 200 thumbs up. Okay. All right. We're going to put him back here for now because we got a lot more to talk about. Yes, the mining stocks have been killed. Okay. The last few days. I'm telling you, it's a risk-off environment right now. Everybody's nervous pervis about the election coming up and what's going to happen. And there's so much uncertainty. We probably, from an uncertainty perspective, right now are at a peak of what I've really felt in the markets for at least, probably in the last 10 years when it comes to real uncertainty about like what's the world going to look like 2 months from now. What's the world going to look like 6 months from now? What's the world going to look like 1 week from now? Okay, so there's a lot of uncertainty. People are getting out of everything, right? Probably going to cash. And we're seeing that in the general stock markets. We're seeing that in the gold and silver market. So hang in there. Okay. Let's look at this. Bitcoin is going through the roof. All right. And House of Not now, look, I'm not anti-Bitcoin. I do not own any crypto. That's great if you do. I'm not. Crypto people and gold and silver people share so much in common. We have a lot more in common than we do in difference. We got like 98% in common. But a lot of crypto and precious metals people are at big odds with each other. Like they don't hate each other. I hate to use the H word, but they strongly dislike each other because of that last 2%, which is how they choose to protect themselves, to protect their assets. Okay. Now, listen to this. This just brought up a good point. Then I'll share with you my thoughts on crypto. Nostra House of Gold said the U.S. government, the banks, Wall Street, all want you to buy Bitcoin, but they do not want you to buy gold nor silver. Think about that. Think about that, guys. And you know what? That's true. The government, the banks, Wall Street, they all are Bitcoin, right? Everything's Bitcoin, crypto, blah, blah, blah. Here's my thought. And again, I'm not I think whatever you want to do with your money is great. I'm not bashing crypto, but I still have this strong suspicion that the crypto world was created as a diversion to keep money from going into gold and silver, because the Fed, the paper dollar, they all really, really dislike gold and silver. I just think that there's a chance that could be the case. Right. And that all this money I read yesterday, I forget how many billions went into the Bitcoin ETF yesterday. Right. That all that money would have otherwise gone into gold and silver. Right now, who knows what's going to happen to crypto? There's some people that say it's just nothing, blah, blah. I'm not going to fight that war. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. But the fact does remain that I think a lot of the money that's gone into crypto would have gone into silver and gold. And as the whole crypto Bitcoin thing plays out, it'll be interesting to see how that impacts the silver price and the gold price. I'll leave it at that. But I also want to mention, right, just because Wall Street is backing it, just because the government is, whatever, I'll leave that all alone, right? We know that Wall Street, just for an example, also encouraged people to buy into sold mortgage-backed securities before the great financial collapse of 2008, 2007, 2008. So whatever happens with that, I'm a little suspicious is all I'll say. And I'll tell you that's, I'm going to say tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. It's a suspicion that I have, a speculation that I have. Certainly no proof or anything along those lines. What about the economy? When the economy, gold and silver will be the ultimate benefit when this economy, when the market, when the money printing starts up, right? Because the market goes down big, when the economy goes down big, the only game left in town for the Fed will be to print money. Let's look at a couple startling recent headlines about what is going on in our economy right now. Kobisi letter, right? U.S. layoffs jumped by 160,000 in September to almost 2 million. the second highest in 4 years. Monthly layoffs have increased by 540,000 or 42% over the last 3 years as the labor market has slowed. But wait, there's more, right? When we look at the market right now, investors are paying 26 times peak S&P 500 earnings, the highest valuation we've seen since 2000 and 50% above the historical median. What that is telling us is that the market is in bubble territory, right? Remember the tech bubble? Right? It was higher back then, but not by much. And look now, the premium that investors are paying, right? Darn near record territory. And then would it make sense that institutional traders just sold the most amount of stocks? This is the big money, the institutions, last week in more than 9 years. In every bubble, like 1929, 1987, 2001, and 2008, bubble. The last stages were when institutions started dumping on the bag holding retail, which buy it up. This bubble will pop. And take a look at this chart, okay? This is a second largest net sale by institutional clients in our data history since 2010, right? Look at, that's the amount of sales circled in red. This is from Bank of America Securities, right? So this is real, guys. This is what's going on. But do you know what's even scarier right now is when we have Jamie Dimon, right? The head, right? The CEO of JP Morgan Chase. Jamie Dimon tells us this. Get ready. From Newsweek, World War III has this is Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. World War III has already begun, JP Morgan boss says. That's important to silver and gold investors because when the world is in conflict, nobody wants to own each other's paper make-believe money because, as you might imagine, the paper make-believe money is backed by nothing but confidence, trust. And when the world is at war and major changes are going on, people don't want to hold the paper. People want to hold real assets. Let's just briefly see what he said here. The banking institution CEO, Jamie Dimon, said in a recent speech at the Institute of International Finance that the current conflict in Ukraine and the Middle East has already begun a third world war. Okay. Dimon previously called Russia, North Korea, and Iran the evil axis that alongside China will hurt institutions like NATO. And they're talking about doing it now, Dimon said at the event. They're not talking about waiting 20 years. And so the risk of this is extraordinary if you read this story. Okay, we don't want war. We don't want, but we also don't want to hold our heads in the sand, guys. And as the world goes through major changes, maybe you've decided, right, to protect some or all of your assets with precious metals. We're going to go out and check the silver and gold price one more time. But I do want to say thank you to our channel sponsor, First Mining Gold. They had some news out this morning. You can go to their website to check that out. First Mining Gold is a development stage company. They have 2 multi-million ounce gold projects in Canada, development stage, gold in the ground in Canada. And I want to say thank you to Fortuna Mining. They're a producing silver and gold mining company, silver and gold in Latin America, and gold production coming out of a ever-growing production profile that they have in West Africa. Now let's go check. Oh my gosh, we almost forgot. We got to go to the debt clock too. We got a lot more to do, guys. Here we go. I'm going to acknowledge that. And silver down 94 cents. We're going to press the button here. Silver down 91 cents. So gotten a little bit better. I don't know about you, but I really, my blood pressure does not appreciate when the silver price starts with a down and it's a 1, and that's a $1. So we will take that. Let's run out, guys, to the U.S. debt clock, and just to make sure things aren't improving on that front. There's the U.S. national debt. Woof. Quickly approaching $36 trillion. Yes, that's trillion. This is going to be, I wonder how much press coverage this will get when the interest on the debt, and it's happening soon. I mean, look at this. This is just the interest. This is what you're paying in interest. And I think it's like 20% of every dollar in taxes you pay, 20 cents of it goes just to interest. You get nothing for interest. That's just an expense that you get nothing in return, right? 20% of the money you pay in taxes. But it'll be, and what do you think? Do you think that the press will pick up and say, oh my gosh, the interest on the debt? Probably not, but we'll see how it plays out. Let's go to our favorite. Oh, hey, Honest Engine. I checked this earlier. It was at 950. The dollar to silver ratio, the number of paper dollars being created in the M2 money supply for each 1 ounce of silver is now at 952. Let's see. Today's Halloween. Let's go out to let's just see how that compares to previous days. 1031. I appreciate you helping me do this data entry. 951. Okay, so as you can see, the increase rate has slowed down, but we continue to see more and more paper money via the M2 money supply being created for each 1 ounce of silver coming out of the ground. I am not saying that the silver price should be $950. This is just an interesting way to look at the amount of paper money being created on an annual basis versus 1 ounce of silver. And that number for each 1 ounce of silver is $950. Again, not too long ago, about 8-9 days ago, we were in the 700 range. But now we are healthily into the $900 paper dollars being created for each 1 ounce of silver. Let's go take a look at the general markets, guys, and see what is transpiring today. Had the works of an ugly day. Yeah, the NASDAQ, the tech stocks are down 2%. Who was it last night? I think Microsoft got dinged. Gold price down $34 in the futures market. I know that really is painful. Okay. However, let's take stock, right? $2,766. For fun, let's make believe this is Halloween. Let's go for a trip together, guys. Were you alive a year ago? Yes, you were, most likely. I don't think we have any babies watching us today. Nonetheless, I'm 54. Last year, I was 53. How old were you last year? Take your current age and subtract 1. So on a serious note, 1 year ago today, where was the gold price? Do you know? Right? We're going to find out. Let's go take a look. Okay, gold. Ugh, look at all that red. Everything except oil is down. Nonetheless, we're here to see 1 year ago, Halloween 2023, and gold was below $2,000 an ounce. Right? Open high, closed at 1978. Looks like Halloween is not a good day for the gold price. It was down 0.32%. See my little yellow plus sign over here? Hold on. Getting more text. Oops. Okay. All right. So gold, guys, gold was under $2,000. Today, right now, we're at 2,766. So imagine last year, right now, you and I in the basement, right? 2023, Halloween. And I'm like, guys, we're fighting. Look, gold's looking pretty good. We're almost to 2,000. Right? I'd probably go back and look at the live stream. I'm like, come on, we can do it. And what if you told me, yes, you told me, right? Halloween 2023. I won't say that again, but you told me that, hey, Ron, a year from now, Halloween 2024, the gold price is going to be $750 per ounce higher. Right? I probably would say, well, that's possible. And if it does happen, we're going to be really happy. But that's a pretty lofty expectation, my friend. That's where we are, guys. The gold price. Let's go take a look at silver since we're having some fun. Where do you think silver was exactly 1 year ago right now? Here we go. Silver. Okay. Silver on Halloween 2023. And it was, I think it was lower, right? Yes, last year, Halloween. 22 closed at $22.68. So we'll say $23, $10 per ounce lower. What? Probably silver has gone up 45%, 40% in 1 year. Look at this. This is 1 year. So yes, okay, today stinks, no doubt about it. But guess what, guys? This is critical for us to understand. I want you to stay with me here, because there's a reason why on days like today, sure, it's no fun. I'm not going to argue that point. I'm not going to tell you that you should be happy about the silver and or gold price. That's the move over 1 year from basically $22, $23 to $33 per ounce in silver over the last year. But I want you to look at something here, okay? During that process, we had days, I'm going to draw some more lines like this, okay? We had days like this where silver probably dropped $1. We had days like this. We had a couple days like this, right? We had a couple weeks like this. We had weeks like this. But the bottom line is we had this, follow my arrow, an upward trend in the silver price. We're still above that key support level. We're fighting for it now. My gosh, who would have thought? We're fighting for it right now. But when you look at it just over a year, right, it's volatility. Remember this, the letter V, volatility, okay? Right? These are the down days over here. These are the up days. It's just like the letter V that starts volatility. That's why they made it volatility, not dolatility or solatility. They made it volatility because that means down and up. As long as the up days are bigger than the down days, we're in good shape. Hey, Silver Surfer, thank you again for the super chat. Don Howe, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being here. Okay, thanks for being part of the basement. You belong. I want you to know that you're part of this group. You're always welcome here. We'll do our best to get something out to you every single day, some type of fun news, analytical information on the gold and silver market, on the mining stock sector. Okay, we're going to have up days. We're going to have some great up days. We're going to have some challenging days like we're going through today. You're not alone, right? You're not alone in this journey. You can always come here to the basement. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. And thank you to channel sponsor Pimbex. One more time, guys, if you waited till today to buy your silver, you get some bonus ounces with all that money you saved. Have a great one. Thank you. And I'll see you guys soon.